Who likes this? Does anybody? Carmelo Anthony. It didn't work out with Chris Paul, his best friend there. Why would it work out with the Lakers and LeBron James? Carmelo makes no sense with the Lakers.
It makes a ton of sense. Whatever you want to say about Carmelo Anthony, and a lot of people want to point to his last 2 years of production and decline, to really just say that's who he is in totality. A lot of movement, a lot of moving parts with Carmelo Anthony. I still think he's a very good player in this league and very good for the Lakers situation for two reasons. One, he is a veteran, and that's a young core. And LeBron James, at his age, is looking for guys who are ready right now. And two, if you look at him from the three-point line, which is today's game, Carmelo Anthony on this team would rank top 3 in terms of shooting in his decline. Like the decline years, the 35, 36% shooter right now will be right behind the best three-point shooter on the Lakers, which is by percentage. Anybody? Fun fact, trivia.
Josh Hart.
Lance Stevenson. Hello. I mean, what? So Carmelo Anthony, because of his versatility, I'm not going to use all the decline and just say that's who he is in totality. I think he can really help this team, especially in the veteran mindset.
Look, I have to agree with Whitlock on this one. Look, he was in Houston. He was on a team where all he had to do was play a minimum role. And it didn't work out. It lasted, a couple weeks before he was let go? So now you're asking him to come on to a Los Angeles Lakers squad. If you take LeBron James out, this team is young.
Yeah.
Is Carmelo of the mindset right now that I could come in and be a veteran leader, just help these young guys? Or is his mindset is I can still score and give buckets? Because if that's his mindset, that's the mindset that got him out of Houston. And the Lakers right now, that's not what they need. And I know LeBron James, like, the Lakers interested, is it Lakers or is it LeBron that's interested in Carmelo? Because we know LeBron wants him over. I just don't think that's a good fit overall.
That's messed up. This is messed up. Houston and OKC, if you talk about Carmelo Anthony fitting in, what's in common in those two destinations? The leader of both franchises, not the same facilitator and open-minded leader as a LeBron James. Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Look at James Harden right now, who I love, who I respect. But as soon as Chris Paul go down, what does James Harden do? Hey. He goes back to what he really wants to do, what he's been suppressing, which is take over. Russell Westbrook playing well with Paul George. We understand that. But it's a difficult process. Carmelo has taken a lot of the blame from dealing with two of the superstars who don't necessarily like to share. Put them in there with LeBron James.
Don't like to share. Say what you will about James and Russ. But they're one of the league leaders in assists every year.
After they get their bucket.
And when LeBron comes back,
you fell for the okie doke. The same thing.
I understand that. I understand they want to get their numbers. I do get that.
Okay, all right.
I do get that. But you're bringing Carmelo on. Who you taking minutes away from?
I think your bigger problem is and Chris, do you remember Allen Iverson in Denver? Mm-hmm. And he still thought he
Carmelo,
was Allen Iverson from Philadelphia.
Right.
And that's the problem with Carmelo. Carmelo is a sober Allen Iverson. That's all he is. He still thinks he's the guy that won the national championship at Syracuse. He still thinks he's a perennial all-star and a number 1, number 2 player. He's not of the mindset. He still thinks he's one of the 10 best players in the league. And Allen Iverson, to this day, probably still thinks he can go out in the NBA and get 40. This is a sober Allen Iverson. It just won't work.
Man, well, y'all leave that boy alone, man.
He's going. I'm saying if that's his mindset, it won't work in Los Angeles. I don't know that that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't know if he really thinks he's still a top 10 player. He's a good player. He should be in this league.
Thank you.
But as of right now, at this stage of his career, it's all about fit.
Is this a good sign for the Golden State Warriors in terms of long-term keeping Kevin Durant? I say it has no impact there. I think Kevin Durant is trying to get through this season, and he's going to do whatever the hell it is he wants to do when the offseason comes around.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think a lot of times, especially in NBA free agency, we look for any little scrap, any little kernel and say, that means something. Oh, he has a home here in the offseason. Yeah, he got a home in about 5 cities if you really want to know. So I'm not going there with this. I'm not putting too much on this. for a guy like myself, no shame. I was engaged 4 different times. And every single one of those, we went through counseling. We really tried to work it out.
And it was always them. It was always them. They were the problem.
Well, I found that out in counseling. But before I thought it was all me. Then I found out it was you. So, but the point is, you will move on and still say, all right, well, I tried. And I think that this is what KD is doing. He's like, I tried. Like, I'm trying to fix the situation. Doesn't mean I'm married to it. So I wouldn't put too much on this.
I think what's going on is that incident happened so early in the season that at some point they had to talk about it and try to move on past it. I actually got KD a few days after that incident on my podcast. I posted up with Chris Haynes' podcast.
We heard about that big time.
Do it with my boy Mark Haynes and Terrence Hall. But he said that he let that go immediately. I don't know where I believe him from that standpoint. But look, I agree with I don't think this is going to have any bearing on his future or anything like that. It's a situation where it's a long season. I got to play with you. I got to see you every day. Yeah. So we're going to have to discuss this and move on. Now, was the Warriors, are they concerned? Are they still concerned to this day? Yes, I think so. Was that incident, did that play a big part in their concern? Yes, it did. Yeah. Will it play a part in the summer? I'm not so sure.
It was smart of KD to do it this way, too, because one, you address a younger player or a less accomplished player and you don't sun him. You just say, look, man, I think you got more in you if you hone this in and really start to be a well-rounded player instead of just always being emotionally driven. But two, like you said, it's really awkward to be on a team, travel, everything with a guy, and you're trying to ignore him. Because my grandma used to say, to ignore is to pay attention. You ever try to ignore somebody? You got to pay more attention to them. Oh, here they come. Oh, no, I can't look that way. Oh, no. I ain't messing with them. We ain't cool. You paying more attention to this dude than I'm right in front of you. So
I'm going to tell you the other thing here, though. I think it's smart by Draymond to accept this criticism and try to change because he still would like to get paid again from Golden State. And he can't be seen as the reason KD left. That would cost him money and credibility.
That's a good business decision. Right. Make sure you go and appease this guy because he was the big reason why he got him there, but you don't want to be the reason why you made him vote.
Yeah, and you think about it, like Draymond Green, he's an interesting case study. His numbers don't support max dollars or even anything in that respect. However, him in this circumstance does suggest that you need that Swiss Army knife for what they do. If he gets himself in this position where they lose the love for him in the organization, I don't know where else he can go and command that same dollar based on these numbers and the perceived effect he'll have on another franchise.